on in the series, I was invited to Westfield to test drive some of their cars, and I couldn't resist coming back to find out more about their race team from one of their drivers, Richard. Hello.
Hi.
So, how long have you been racing for?
About 14 seasons now.
And you've got a connection with Westfield, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm the son of the owner.
Good start, I think.
Always helps.
So tell me a bit about this car. This is the car you drive, is it?
Yeah, this is the latest model we're doing. It's called the Mega Bussa. It's for a new championship with a 1300cc Suzuki engine.
Right.
A little bit different to the road cars that you probably drove earlier in the year.
Yeah.
It's made with a lightweight chassis, lightweight bodywork. Suspension is quite a lot different. Much bigger brakes, much quicker steering.
Quicker than the one I tried?
Quite a lot quicker.
And the whole clutch thing I found really difficult to start off. I just kept stalling it again and again and again and again, remember? So I'd find that even harder in one of these.
Probably, but in race mode we only use it to start.
Yeah, of course, unless you stall, which you wouldn't do
Which
around
we
the
won't.
racetrack. So tell me a bit more about the racing. I mean, how easy is it to get into if I wanted to race, say, just for example?
Just for example. The regulations now state that you must go on an ARDS course, which is an advanced racing school course, which is to see if you're basically sensible enough to drive a car.
Right.
Once you've passed that, you can just apply to the RAC MSA for a licence, and then you can go and buy a car and go racing.
And the course you're talking about, do you have to do like lessons before, as in a car test or a bike test?
No, it's just a one-day lesson.
Okay. And do you need to like have any pre-knowledge of racing before you go to this?
Not much so. On that day they'll teach you how to do it.
This sounds good. And cost?
Cost this year is about £265 for a full day's course. Then you need to get a licence, which is about £50. Overalls, helmets, boots, roughly around £1,000, depending on the make and quality that you purchase.
Ah, so you don't have to win the lottery, like my suit. A bit like a bumblebee, I know, but keep you safe. So when's your next race?
2 weeks' time at Snetterton.
Really?
Yes.
Can we get there, do you think, to go and have a look? How do you think you're going to do?
Well, last 3 meetings we've finished 1-2, so we're looking confident.
Who's your biggest competitor?
My team driver, actually.
Oh, really?
Yes, he's beat me 3 times so far this year.
Did you say she?
He.
Oh, never mind. Still room for one then. Right then, Rich, do you think I can fit in that?
We'll give it a go. Come on.
Now, I understand the seats are made specifically for the drivers?
Yes, yeah, just so you don't have too much movement when you're in the car, really.
Is that like when you have to sit in the bag with the polystyrene balls and they suck it all?
Very
get
similar.
Them right? Ah, I think, Houston, we have a problem. I think your bum's a little smaller than mine.
No, really not.
Oh, well, just a bit. I think it's probably a bar of chocolate, one too many or something. Well,
Basically, to strap yourself in the car, you've got like an aeroplane buckle here.
right.
And here.
And here. And
Goes in
here.
there. Then you just pull those down until you feel they're tight enough for your own safety.
As a bug in the rug. Well, I completely understand why it has to be this tight, obviously, because then you're not going to move about. I think I'm jammed in like a sardine, actually.
Yeah, you do get a lot of inertia, you know, when you're driving around the corners and under braking. That's why you've got it across the shoulders as well.
Just point of interest, do you wear a helmet when you're racing? Or
Yes.
And goggles, or is it full
crash
visor?
helmet, full visor.
Because I couldn't see a thing when we were speeding along the other day because my eyes were just full of water. So tell me some more modifications that you've got on the car.
The main ones really are the brakes. We've got big touring car style AP brakes on the front, which make a huge difference over the standard road going cars.
Yeah.
We've got a slightly modified clutch. We've got full competition nitron dampers, and then basically we've just got basic instrumentation, just a rev counter, oil and water pressures and temperatures, just enough that so we can glance down and see exactly what we need to see.
And how long does the race last for, the ones that you do?
Anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour.
It's a lot of concentration.
It's a long time, to be concentrating and try and get the same lap after lap.
Do you deal with the fitness regime that the Formula One guys
we
do?
We do a small amount, but probably not that much.
Do you need a fitness trainer?
Couldn't afford you.
Well, I think as I'm nice and fit and I can just about fit in, I think I'm ready to have a go now.
Okay, I'll leave it to you.
Are you going to show me how to get out though?
No.
What? Just
no, you just have to work it out.
But I can't.
You have to start somewhere.
No!
We all dream of owning a supercar that we can't afford, whether it be a McLaren F1, a Porsche or a Ferrari. But I'm here to meet a geezer that can offer me one at cut price. And it's all above board. You interested? Hello, Alex. So where's this supercar you've got for me?
Oh, is that it? You shrunk it? Actually, I saw one of these last night in Park Lane, and apparently they're worth about 700,000.
That's right, yeah.
That's amazing. How much is this one worth?
This is £20, slightly cheaper than the real thing.
Looks like I could afford that then on my budget. And what sort of people would buy a car like this then? Or any car you have in your shop?
We sell to ladies to buy it for their boyfriends. We have dads buying it for their children, or just pure model collectors building up their collection.
Fantastic. Have you got anything else we can have a look at?
Lots to look at.
So it feels like we're in Aladdin's cave here. Talk me through some of the stuff you've got around.
Yeah, this is our specials room, if you like, and we have most of the things in here are original, like the cruise shirt, so we have some race crash helmets, race visors, but everything that's signed is originally signed by the drivers and such, so there are some replica crash helmets in, because
you say that Ayrton Senna's helmet's replicas.
If a real one's going to cost about 25,000 now, but when you buy a real helmet like that, you want all the documentation you can get to make sure it's real, because you don't want to be...
What, a bit like if you get a car with a logbook?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you want to have the right paperwork with it, because you don't want to buy something that's not being used by him, especially if you're going to pay the price for it as well.
Do you have anything that's signed by him?
Ayrton, unfortunately not here. Downstairs we will have. Yeah. We've got some prints and bits and pieces down there.
I think the helmets are my personal favourite, because I just think they're really lovely to look at. You need a lot of space if you're going to collect them.
You do need room, yeah. I mean, it's a total cross-reference from old replicas to race-worn helmets. And they can be quite expensive. Even the replicas can be expensive, from £750 upwards, so you do need a bit of money.
What sort of person comes in and buys something like that?
Collectors, really. If they're in for, say they collect everything on Michael Schumacher, right. And they're going to want a crash helmet at Michael Schumacher's to go with a model collection or whatever. Sometimes we sell them to pubs or clubs or themed bars, you know.
Like a sports cafe or something
absolutely,
like that?
Yeah, that sort of thing, yeah.
And what's this all about? You've got a bit of a car,
yeah.
You know. We
do the bits of the car. They're a bit big to have loads of pieces, but that's off a Le Mans Mazda in 1990. You get not just the front end, you get the back end, and you get the doors as well, so you get all of the bodywork except for the engine and the seats.
And this?
Steering wheels, well, from the Formula 1 car, unfortunately the steering wheels now are just too expensive for us to get them.
Are they?
The Ferrari steering wheel, they reckon, cost about £45,000 a time.
What, a steering wheel?
Steering wheel, all the electronics and the gadgets and everything they have on them now. But this is what they used to be like, literally just the wheel with a couple of buttons on-off sort of switches.
But that says 97, so it's not that old?
No, the technology has come on in the last few years. It's spiralled out of...
45 grand for a steering wheel. So what do we have down here?
We have, it's a race program from 1988. And it's individual team pages, and each page is signed by both drivers of the relevant team. So we have Ayrton and Alan Prost together in the McLaren race team, both signed. Patrese and Mansell in the Williams team, both Benetton drivers, Boutsen and Nannini, and both Ferrari drivers. So that's quite a nice piece, that one.
You've got a nice picture up here. What's that? The story behind that?
Yeah, this one, painted by Alan Fernley in 1990 actually. For Chris Rea, for his album cover called it Auberge, and they did a limited edition run, 500 prints, signed and numbered by the artist, and each one is signed by Chris Rea as well. And this is a second-hand version because they sold out a long time ago. Move along, further on, we got some more Nicholas Watts here, signed by Fangio, 5 times world champion. Nice McLaren, another Le Mans shot, night and wet. So we just looked at one of those cars.
Yeah. There was one of those in the gumball that I did, seen one in real life. What's this poster here?
Yeah, that is from 1979. American Grand Prix, and it's signed by almost everybody. We have Jules Villeneuve, who's Jacques Villeneuve's father. Unfortunately, he's not around anymore. Colin Chapman, founder of Lotus. You've got Jackie Stewart, Nelson Piquet, Niki Lauda. So a very, very nice piece to have.
And what items are the rarest?
Rarest things would be memorabilia. Ayrton Senna, Jules Villeneuve, of the old sort of score of drivers, crash helmets and race suits and things like that. That would be the most valuable. Or the actual F1 car itself, I guess. Yeah. The actual car.
You have a big lounge.
I have a very big lounge and a very big wallet.
Is there one thing that you would always want to keep your eye open to buy yourself?
There are lots of things on the market to choose from. Anything Ferrari really, especially if it's an original Ferrari thing, be it a team jacket or a team cruise shot or even something signed by Michael Schumacher. So any of those sort of items, because there are not that many on the market anyway, it's definitely worth keeping your eye out for.
And if you could say to me, leave the shop today with one thing that's worth buying as an investment, you know, what would that be?
I would be inspired with the artwork really, especially if you like it, because if it's something that you'd like to have on your wall anyway and it values in money, then you can't really go too far wrong.
So my advice to you is if you want your dream car and you can't afford it now, buy one of these. Keep it in the box and put it in the loft and forget about it. Then in a couple of years you can sell it on and you'll have enough money to buy the real thing. We've got superstars here, we've got celebrities, we've got supercars here, and this car certainly has a lot of history. Tom, tell us how you came by this car.
Well, I bought this car at an auction in Arlington Heights, Illinois, and I saw it advertised in a vintage magazine, and it kind of fit what I wanted to do with my IndyCar collection. I have quite a few Indy cars, and this is a 1948 Curtis Craft KK 2000. It was bought by MGM Studios after it finished its racing career, and they used this car for the movie To Please a Lady with Clark Gable and Barbara Stanwyck. And it's my wife's favorite car.
I bet it is,
because of Clark Gable. Cool. You know, she doesn't like race cars, but she will tolerate this one. Right.
Is it hard to drive?
Well, it's not as friendly as the cars that you might hear in the background out on the track, because it was a purpose-built car, basically to go around ovals.
Right.
You know, to the left.
Yes.
So it's not as friendly as the cars that are built nowadays with independent suspension, and this is a solid rear end, solid axle, which doesn't give you a lot of slip in the corners and things like that you would need. So, and it's an Offenhauser engine, and again, a famous car builder, Frank Curtis, KK 2000, a very popular chassis at the time, and the ever-present and always winning Offenhauser engine, you know, until the Ford engines came along and the Cosworths and all those that came along later and ran them out of business. So,
how fast does it go?
Well, it qualified back in the 40s, the late 40s, about 130 miles an hour.
The 40s, right?
Yeah, right.
And this car here that they've...
That's a Watson Roadster, and one of the famous Watson Roadsters. There were only 23 of those built when they were built.
And can I ask you, which is the most expensive and how much that would be?
The Watson.
And how much is that worth?
I don't remember.
I'm here with Seth, who's from Citybug, who produce these wild and wacky machines to get around town. Now, they're not quite cars and they're not quite bikes, some sort of scooter, aren't they?
That's right, yeah. What we specialise in creating quite wacky and innovative little vehicles, and what you've got here is basically an evolution of the aluminium scooters that were so popular last year. So we've taken a basic aluminium scooter and we've put on it a battery, a little motor, and it's now great fun to whiz around on. You should give it a try.
I presume that it's not road legal, is it? You can't go on the road.
This one is not really road legal, no. I mean, there isn't really a law for it. It's a bit of a grey area, but we wouldn't recommend using it on the road. It's more for a bit of fun.
Well, I've got all the kit on, so I know I'm going to be safe. one you have?
What we have here is a little scooter which we call the City Bug. This one is actually road legal. It weighs about 20 kilos. It's not super light because the batteries are reasonably heavy, but it's light enough to be portable.
Well, it's all right if you go to the gym.
Like
carry
you obviously do.
So can I have a little?
Absolutely. Just
is
pull
it ready
the red,
to go?
It is. Just pull the red lever to go.
Hey. Woo! It goes quite fast. Beep, 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 beep. It goes quite quick, doesn't it?
It runs at about 15 miles an hour, which is a good cycling speed. So yeah, it's
quite
reasonably
surprising.
fast.
And it's got a stand.
It'll stand at the back there.
At the back. Et voila. Now this looks interesting.
This is a very unique device. This is called the Razor Hango. The secret of this is this special joint down here that allows all the limbs of the scooter to move independently. And the big difference between this and traditional push scooters is that this is actually self-propelling.
Right.
And by shifting your body weight on your legs between the two foot plates and rotating the handlebars, you can actually propel it along.
So kind of like skiing, roller skating.
That's right,
kind
yeah. Give it a push to get it going, and then
give it a push first. Oh, watch my bike. I'm losing momentum, I think. Can she get round to the beginning? Excellent.
It takes a bit of practice, but you can, with practice, get up to similar sort of speeds you can do on a bicycle.
Well, thank you very much. I think I'm going to go off for another little whiz. Woo! Well, I'm here with John from Subaru UK, and I'm lucky enough to be driving this car today. So, John, exactly what is this car, and tell me all about it.
Well, Jane, this is a Subaru Impreza WRX. It's a 2-litre turbocharged four-door saloon, and the key thing about it's all-wheel drive.
Right.
Basically, all four wheels are driven at the same time, effectively, 50-50 front and rear.
That's something that Subaru believe quite strongly in.
Yeah, they're actually the only manufacturer in the world who only produce all-wheel drive vehicles.
Right.
Other people who produce all-wheel drive vehicles, predominantly their sales are in two-wheel drive. They do them on the top of the range only. Subaru, it's from the bottom to the top, all-wheel drive only.
Really? What's the basis behind that decision then?
Well, basically, it's a function of safety as much as anything else. There's two things: grip on the road.
Yeah.
Because clearly, if you've only got two wheels driving, the other two wheels aren't being driven and they can slip at any time. When you've got all-wheel drive, what happens effectively is that if one wheel slightly slips, the other wheel compensates for it, and vice versa.
Oh, okay.
So it's an active safety device, if you like.
Super. Can you tell me a bit about the history of Subaru?
Yeah, I can. I mean, they've been in the UK now for about 23 years. Were traditionally, when they first came into the UK, a very rurally based brand. Appealed to farmers, wealthy landowners, etc. Because again, they had what was then four-wheel drive vehicles, estate cars, pickups, and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Come the end of the 80s, beginning of the 90s, they started to change. Their products got better, more luxurious, better features, etc. And then earlier on, probably 94, I think it was, the Impreza was launched in normally aspirated form. And then a year later, the Turbo came in, and everything changed for the brand. The Impreza really helped to change the brand in the UK.
Yeah.
Became exciting, high performance, sexy.
I was going to say, I think all my mates are like, oh, Subaru Impreza, lovely.
Yeah,
so
well,
it really made a difference, didn't it?
Absolutely, it's raised the profile of the brand, and in no small part that's been down to world rallying and the fact that we won, 3 World Rally Championships in the 90s.
Ah, fantastic. So we've got two different cars here. They look pretty similar, but obviously I can see the difference with the headlights and stuff. Is there anything else other than the colour?
No, basically, this is basically just got an accessory body kit which anybody can take an Impreza into their dealer and have a new headlight cluster, front spoiler.
Right.
Also, there's a spoiler at the back underneath. There are side treatments and also an interior treatment as well. So it just gives the car a little bit more individuality, if you like.
And is there any difference to the driving? Has it been tuned differently, or?
Yeah, we have also made available a ProDrive Performance Pack, and ProDrive are the company that run the World Rally team. So they do tuning work on all of our cars, not just the Impreza. and what effectively they've done is increased the mid-range performance.
Right.
Top end is the same, but mid-range, where you really need it most for acceleration in town and on main A roads, that's where you need it, absolutely. So the engine has been modified to increase that mid-range performance.
So if you were to buy this car, would it be more expensive than this one? Or?
Yes, it would, but only marginally more expensive, frankly, and for the increased performance, there are many people who feel it's worth it.
Yeah. So how much are we talking about for the basic model here?
This one's nearly £21,500 as it stands there. This one with the increased performance and the body kit would be something in the order of £25,000, roughly.
Crikey.
Yeah.
So John, what sort of speeds are we talking about?
Well, potentially you're talking about 143 miles an hour top speed. With a 0 to 60 of under 5 seconds.
Fantastic, and that's quite impressive, isn't it, the 0 to 60?
Very quick.
That's what everyone wants to know these days when you get speed cameras stopping you for driving fast. So, thank you very much, and I look forward to having a drive a bit later.